One of the challenges which was being spoken of is the lack of private consumption at this moment. And despite the fact that we're coming out of the pandemic, there would have been an expectation that there'd be a release of pent-up demand, which in some sectors there has been, but net, the macro picture seems to be that private consumption hasn't taken off yet. How is the government hoping to deal with that issue and try and encourage people to go out and consume?
All the statistics somehow don't seem to suggest what you are saying. The numbers of, after all, GST collection is a reflection of people spending. And the net collection in a GST regime, which is at the last stage of consumption, clearly only reflects consumption coming back into the market. The fact that industry, by and large, is almost running to capacity in all the main sectors. The PMI is high, the mood of the industry is very positive. Exports, I don't know if you are aware, we have touched $197 billion of export in the first 6 months. This was unheard of in India. It's the highest ever we've done in the first 6 months. And normally we all know that the first 6 months are slow. In addition to that, 3 of those months were the second wave of COVID, toughest possible time. And we've done 197 billion, which in some sense is reflective of India's credibility worldwide. The fact that the world is now looking to India as a trusted partner. The world is wanting to engage more with India. And I can tell you, my own meetings or discussions with various world leaders from trade and economy suggest that they are very, very keen to expand our relations between India and other countries. We've launched FTA negotiations with UAE on the 22nd of September, with Australia on the 30th of September. Both are going on full stream ahead. With the UK, I was to possibly have a meeting on I will be meeting my counterpart there who's just come in a day after tomorrow. And then by November, we are hoping to launch FTA negotiations. EU we launched a couple of months back. We are looking at a possible FTA with a couple of more countries.
Do you have any commitments to timelines about when you hope to get some of these free trade agreements actually signed, sealed and started?
UAE, almost certain will happen in the next 3 or 4 months, a full FTA. With Australia, we'll have an early harvest, an interim agreement with the contours of the larger agreement in place. Again, by January, they have actually set a deadline of 25th December. And both teams are working to that deadline. And I just got a message from the Australian minister that I'm looking forward to meet you and discuss further on our negotiations. Day after tomorrow tomorrow we are meeting, Tomorrow we are meeting. So the mood is to really fast track it. UK, November, once we launch, we plan to look for an interim agreement by March and do a final agreement by June or July. Canada was very keen to start discussions, but COVID hit first them, then us, then them, and the roller coaster went on. Then they got into election mode. That's just got over. Again, I got a message day before yesterday from the Canadian counterpart that she's looking forward to meet me day after tomorrow. So, and then I think we'll launch it very soon. Now that the elections are over, there's certainty over there, so we have time. And Canada, we have to just finalize whether it will be a full FTA or an interim early harvest agreement to get benefit of the low-hanging fruits. Why I'm sharing all this with you is that now we have to prepare Indian industry. We have to get ready, and that was what our earlier engagement was all about. I was talking to some 60 industry associations, ASCON it is called. CII has this body called ASCON. 60 sector-specific industry associations. Capital goods manufacturing, renewable energy, product manufacturing, machinery manufacturing, power, electrical goods manufacturing, cement manufacturing, steel, automobiles, auto components, every sector was there. And I can see the mood in Indian industry, particularly with a series of steps to help ease of doing business, to promote industrial manufacturing through the production-linked incentive scheme, the fact that we are trying to reduce compliance burden, 22,000 already done, many more in the annual, decriminalize several laws. I'm working now on legal metrology department, which is actually sounds simple, but people are facing a lot of problem from them, the weights and measures and stuff like that. So there's a lot that is happening. Prime Minister on Wednesday will be unveiling India's infrastructure plans going forward. And now we are not planning infrastructure in any haphazard manner anymore. Last few years, you must have noticed, every infrastructure project has to stand on its own legs, has to be viable, has to have an economic impact on industry or agriculture, whichever sector. There has to be a significant value add when we go into any particular infrastructure project. So a lot of work is happening, scientifically driven, technologically supported, to make Indian industry both competitive, quality conscious, working to scale, and becoming world class.